This is PSN Newsrun, streaming exclusively on YouTube.
Welcome to PSN Newsrun. Our top stories. Federal government keeps to Ogoni Upgrade promise with 4 new water projects. Nigerians clap back at Canadian court ruling on APC and PDP as terrorist groups. And on sports, the Tigers continue with basketball glory. All this and more on PSN Newsrun. The federal government has commissioned 4 new water projects in Ogoni land, reaffirming its commitment to the United Nations Environment Programme's recommendations. Joycelyn brings us details of this report.
The federal government has commissioned 4 additional potable water projects in Ogoni land as part of efforts to fully implement the United Nations Environment Programme (UNEP) recommendations on the region's environmental restoration. The new facilities located in Bodo, Ugwere, Bua, Taba, and Etio communities across Gokana, Kana, and Eleme local government areas of River State were unveiled by the Minister of Environment, Balarabe Abbas Lawal, and Chairman of the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project (HYPREP) Governing Council, Professor Neni Barini Zabi. Speaking at the event in Bodo, the minister urged residents to take ownership of the projects and protect them from vandalism, stressing that their sustainability depends on community stewardship.
She points like with the people rather than playing with the people, playing with the people. So the people want to even go, we and I believe I personally that play with. If I see the kind of reception we see, one guy over here with this kind of person. I've been here 4 times. And I believe that the center has always been improving. When I say the crowd is always increasing as we can and show the way to which the project is being accepted and brought to the people
HYPREP project coordinator, Professor Neni Barani Zabi, linked the water projects to President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, highlighting a surge in community acceptance and confidence in HYPREP's work.
Notable achievements have been recorded in the construction of a Center of Excellence for Environmental Restoration, which is currently at 90% completion. Phase 1 of the Ogoni project is 40% complete, while more than 5,000 Ogoni youths and women have been trained in 20 skill sets.
The event also featured the commissioning of HYPREP's new Gokana area office, the distribution of cook stoves to fisher folk to curb mangrove logging, and a tour of the Center of Excellence for Environmental Restoration. With the latest commissioning, HYPREP now supplies clean water to 40 Ogoni communities and targets more before the end of the year. Reporting for PS News, Joycelyn Ella Keche Ada.
The reported suicide of an Obafemi Awolowo University student after failing an exam twice has thrown a spotlight on the intense pressure faced by Nigerian undergraduates and raised tough questions about whether our education system demands too much and supports too little. Let's hear Joycelyn's analysis on this report.
The tragic death of a student from Obafemi Awolowo University, who reportedly took his own life after failing an exam twice, has reignited a difficult conversation. Are Nigerian students being pushed beyond their limits? While universities are meant to be challenging, critics argue the country's academic system often crosses into punishing territory. Failure in a course doesn't just mean retaking it. For many students, it means extended years, increased tuition, stigma from peers, and mounting mental health strain. For those without financial safety nets, each extra semester is a crisis. Education experts note that the Nigerian system tends to focus heavily on rote learning and high-stakes final exams. One bad day, one poor test performance, and years of work can be derailed. This is a stark contrast to many international systems where continuous assessments, academic counseling, and multiple receipt opportunities help cushion the blow of failure. In countries like Finland or Canada, the emphasis leans towards understanding and skill application, not just passing an exam. The bigger question is whether our institutions are providing enough mental health support. University counseling centers, where they exist, are often underfunded, understaffed, and stigmatized. Students battling academic setbacks are left to navigate their struggles alone. Yes, education is meant to prepare the mind, sharpen discipline, and build resilience. But when it becomes a relentless grind without adequate support structures, it risks breaking the very people it is meant to build. The OAU tragedy should be a wake-up call not just for the university, but for Nigeria's entire higher education sector to rethink the balance between academic rigor and student well-being. Because no grade is worth a human life. Reporting for PS News, Joycelyn Ella Keche Ada.
Canada's court has sparked political outrage in Nigeria after branding APC and PDP as terrorist groups, a ruling both parties say is baseless and dangerous. Marianne brings us responses from the Nigerian space.
Political shockwaves are flying across continents after a Canadian federal court judge, Justice Swing No, upheld a decision that labeled Nigerians' two major political parties, the All Progressive Congress (APC) and the People's Democratic Party (PDP), as terrorist organizations. The ruling, delivered June 17, 2025, was tied to the asylum case of Douglas Egareba, a Nigerian who spent over a decade in both parties. Canadians' Minister of Public Safety argued that both APC and PDP have been linked to electoral violence, political killings, and undermining democracy in Nigeria. The court agreed, denying Ogureba's appeal. APC's reaction: fierce. APC's National Secretary, Senator Ajibola Basiru, called the judge an ignoramus, insisting the court had no jurisdiction to decide the status of Nigerians' recognized political party. He said, APC is a credible democratic institution and slammed Nigerians who fueled negative foreign narratives for personal gain. PDP Deputy National Youth Leader Timothy Osadolo labeled the claim misinformed and biased, insisting there is zero evidence linking PDP or APC as entities of terrorism. However, he admitted that certain individuals in government might have questionable ties and urged Canada to focus on individuals and not the whole parties. Meanwhile, former NNPC Limited spokesperson Olufemi Shoneye warns the verdict could set a dangerous precedent. He said Nigerians with any party membership could face visa bans, asylum denials, and heightened scrutiny abroad. He also warns that such labels could blur the lines between political dissent and extremism, potentially silencing opposition voices both at home and internationally. These courtroom verdicts have been described as a taint on Nigerians' democracy, the rights of its citizens abroad, and the power of foreign courts to shape political narratives at home. Marianne Awia, PS News.
Still on political matters, as Nigerians head to the polls this Saturday for by-elections in 12 states, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps is deploying over 20,000 personnel aimed at securing voters, election materials, and critical infrastructure. Teza takes us into this report.
The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has rolled out a massive security operation ahead of Saturday's by-elections, deploying 20,850 personnel across 12 states. The Independent National Electoral Commission is set to conduct elections in 16 constituencies, and the NSCDC says its mission is clear: protect lives, safeguard election materials, and keep critical national infrastructure secure. Analysts say the deployment is not just about crowd control, it's a strategic move to deter electoral violence, curb ballot snatching, and prevent vandalism of sensitive facilities during voting. With Nigeria's election history often marred by tension, the presence of thousands of uniformed officers is intended to reassure voters and maintain order. Commandant General Ahmed Audi has instructed officers to work in synergy with the Nigerian police, the lead agency for election duties, and other sister security agencies. They are also under strict orders to uphold professionalism, respect human rights, and avoid intimidation of voters. The operation spans states like Anambra, Edo, Kaduna, Oyo, and Kano, all considered politically sensitive. The message from the NSCDC is direct. Voters should turn out without fear, knowing security will be tight from the first ballot to the last count. Teza Phillips, PS News.
On the international scene, flights at Manchester Airport were thrown into chaos after two EasyJet planes clipped wings while taxiing for departure. Jocelyn is here with details.
Two ValueJet planes have collided at Manchester Airport, forcing a temporary halt to all flights and causing major travel disruption. The incident happened early this morning as the aircraft were taxiing for departure, one heading to Paris, the other to Gibraltar, when their wings clipped. Passengers say there was a sudden jolt similar to a car crash, but both aircraft returned to the terminal safely. No injuries were reported. Emergency teams moved in quickly to assess the damage while travelers remained on board. For around 2 hours, departures from the airport were suspended, delaying dozens of flights and affecting thousands of passengers. Operations have since resumed, but delays and cancellations are still rippling through the schedule. EasyJet says both damaged planes will be taken out of service while investigations continue. The airline has apologized to passengers, offered refreshment vouchers, and is arranging replacement aircraft to get journeys back on track. Airport authorities are advising travelers to check with their airlines before heading out, warning that the knock-on effect could last well into the day. While this was a minor on-ground collision, it's a reminder that even small incidents can cause major disruptions in one of the UK's busiest airports. Reporting for PS News, Jocelyn Ella Keche Ada.
And Sam is here with your sports news roundup, from the Tigers making global basketball history to the Super Falcons bonus rule being cleared, and Chelsea's touching gesture to Diogo Jota's family.
Nigerian women's basketball team, the Tigers, has climbed 3 places to 8th in the world in the latest FIBA Women's World Ranking. With 640.1 points, the reigning African champions have proven their mettle on the global stage, surpassing Brazil and Serbia in the process. This impressive ranking is a testament to the team's remarkable rise, which began with their stunning performances at the Paris 2024 Olympics. The National Sports Commission has put an end to speculation, clarifying that all bonuses owed to the Super Falcons were paid before their final game against Morocco. NSC Director General Bukola Olokpade made this clarification while appearing on Arise TV flagship morning show. According to Olokpade, I can confirm authoritatively that all their bonuses have been paid. I spoke with Ajibade yesterday and the NFF, and everybody is on the same page. However, it appears there might be some discrepancies, as Olokpade mentioned that maybe 1 or 2 players might not have collected their bonuses due to bank issues with the Central Bank of Nigeria. Chelsea FC has announced that they will donate part of their bonuses from their FIFA Club World Cup triumph to the family of late Liverpool forward Diego Jota and his brother Andre Silva. The Blues lifted the newly expanded tournament trophy on July 13th after a 3-0 win over PSG, earning around $114.6 million in prize money. According to reports, $15.5 million was allocated to be shared equally among the players who represented Enzo Maresca's side, with each share valued at more than $500,000 before deductions. This is Samuel Akman for PS News.
And that's a wrap on PSN Newsrun. I am Uluwatosin Deba.
You just watched PSN Newsrun, streaming exclusively on YouTube. This is your trusted voice for news that matters. Subscribe, like, share, and stay informed.